Hello and welcome to Dave the Soup Betting. Well, last week, Marble Sands didn't run very well at all, got unplaced. And Matt Dixon pointed it out in the comments section of the video. If you played with Bet365, you got your money back up to £10 as a free bet. So that possibly didn't cost you anything. Solar Drive, 12 to 1 each way. SP'd came second, got beat by the 33 to 1 shot. A nice profit on that race. So you either won a little bit or lost a small amount last week. Depends who you played with and what prices you got. This week, I've got two selections. Here's the first one at Warwick in the 315. This is the form of an each way bet that I like running on Saturday. And let's have a look at it. A couple of years ago, won at Perth on good to soft. 2 mile 4. Prior to that, it had won at Kempton, 2 mile 2, good to soft. Prior to that, it won a 2-horse race, good to soft. Won a 9-horse race at Market Raisin, good to soft. And all these races, 2 mile 5, 2 mile 5, 2 mile 2, and 2.5 miles. And then what did they do? They bumped it up in trip, messing about with it. Okay, it got beat at Cheltenham North, 2 mile 4 furlong off a mark of 144. Then they tried it basically over 3 miles at Donny, 3 miles at Doncaster, 3 mile 2 at Cheltenham, 3 mile 7, basically 4 miles at Ayr. Now, when it next came to a race where it had got the correct distance, more or less at Market Raisin, the ground was good to firm in places and it ran off 137. Then they ran it over 3-2 at Uttoxeter, 3 miles at Doncaster, 3 miles 1 at Aintree. And it's been coming down and down the mark. And today's running in this race at Warwick. If you go down, you'll find it here. Whistling in the Dark. Now, I've got 16s. I did play earlier. It's now 10:30 on a Friday night. 14 to 1. Whistling in the Dark. Back over 2 mile 4 on good to soft off a very, very low mark. 10 stone 3 off 122. It'll not even know it's got a jockey on. Now, if you want the extra place, I'm 14 to 1 is great. First 3, don't go for the extra place, for heaven's sake. You'll go with Sky Bet, 8.5. It's costing you nearly 6 points for an extra place. So I'm going to stick with Bet365, Whistling in the Dark, 14 to 1. First 3, chip shot 5 each way is my selection in the 315 at Warwick. So, Whistling in the Dark, it's a veterans race. It's 14 to 1 currently. I got slightly bigger earlier, but I'm recording this. It's now 11:15 on a Friday night. Still 14 to 1. Don't go with the extra place on Sky Bet. They're absolutely stealing money. They really are. It's got to come back to form. There's no doubt about it. It is a little bit chancy, but back over its correct distance on good to soft ground with no weight on at all. It has won off a lot higher. If it comes back to form, the 14 to 1 will look like a snip. Here's my second selection for Saturday. Here's a few replays of horses in the race. So this is a freeze frame of a race at Southwell over 1 mile, 4 furlongs and 14 yards. This is the winning line. Which horse do you think's won? This is the nose, the end of the nose of the one on the near side, the one on the far side. That's the end of the nose. Let's have a look at the replay. So as we hit the 2 furlong post, this is the one that was on the near side. This is the one that was on the far side. Let's see him fight it out. The furlong pole, he's waxed this. Gives it another whack on the left-hand side, switches the whip again, whips it on the right-hand side. He's having a bit of trouble keeping it straight. He's just barged into the one on the far side. And there we go. Which one won? This is a mile 3 race at Kempton. They're just coming round the final bend, so they've got roughly 3 furlongs to run. And the horse I'm interested in is the one in the yellow colours in last, coming round the bend. Let's have a look what happens. So it's coming round the bend, just under 3 to run now, and he's a little bit trapped on the rail there. We're coming to the toe pole. We're hitting the cut-off here. We've got the cut-off here where the inner track meets the outer track, and he's still in last. Now he switches it here. He switches it wide, comes across, loses a bit of momentum. As you can see, this is getting away from him slightly. Comes down the outside. I think with that manoeuvre there, I think he's lost a good solid length, maybe 2. And he comes straight down, as straight as a die, down the centre of the track. Now the question is, does he get there? Furlong pole. He's getting there. He's gaining ground. He's gaining ground. He's running on. He's staying on. He's finishing. He's finishing. Does he get there? And the answer is no. He doesn't. Just loses it. So the first one there, it didn't look as though that's the favourite. It's very short, 13-8. It didn't look as though it was crying out for a little bit further. I think it's 84, 85 yards further. 4 furlong stiff uphill running at Newcastle, which runs a lot slower and deeper. This is the race I'm looking at, the 3:55 at Newcastle, 1 mile, 4 furlong and 99 imperial yards. Now the favourite is the one I showed you earlier, Plage de Havre, 13-8. That's too short. That's too short. This is the race I showed you where it actually won and got disqualified. And if you look at it, it raced off 80 and it beat a horse rated 79. Again, what I said, all out, just held on. And it did wander. It did wander. Jinked right under 2 out, drifted left. I think it was out on its feet. Does it look like it needs a stiffer track? And if you look at this, Gallant Lion was 15 lengths behind, getting 9.2 as opposed to 9.6. Getting 4 is 15 lengths behind. Now there's a horse in the race. There is a form line. The form line is with Knock Brex, who, when it won over a mile 4, and it did win easily, comfortably, Gallant Lion was in third, 2.5 lengths behind, getting 6. Now, to me, Not Brex did win easy, but there's a big difference between 15 and 2.5. And it next time it got beat mile 2. They're making excuses, saying, well, it had to run on the inside, but I'm not so sure. I'm not convinced. Midnight Lion won 3 times, mile 2, mile 2, mile 2 over this course. Started off 61, got beat off 75. They dropped it in class and bumped it up half a mile. 6-5 favourite that day. Got beat. They're trying 1.5 miles. I think it's done its winning, to be fair. So Northern Ruler. Now this was a nice win. It won well, it won comfortably. But the time was really slow. Now Newcastle can ride very slow, and every race was slow that day. it's not without a chance if it turns into a slog. But I like Gacy. I showed you the race. That was only its fifth. That was only its fifth run on the all-weather. There it is. And it was a harder race. Got beat Paradias. And I do like Gacy or Garcy at 11-4 for the £10 win. Now, Garcy, back in the day, was 11-8 favourite to win the Old Newton Cup at Haydock on soft ground. The following year, now it had a troubled run that time. The following year, 2023, it ran fourth. It was only being a length and a quarter in the Old Newton Cup on unfavourable good to firm ground. It does like to get its towing, and I think Newcastle should be right up its street. It's one on the all weather. It's one on soft. It's the class horse in the race. Now, Balding's no muppet on the favourite. He's a good trainer. This is a harder race. I just think it's got to improve maybe a little bit too much to win this. And I'm happy with Gacy, 11-4, £10 win. So, this is Dave the Suit. Fingers crossed we'll get a winner on a Saturday. Bye for now.